Chapter 23:34. Then, Shui took out a small black bottle from her bag. It was as thick as her index finger. Why should I believe you? Hui Yanyan had no intention of letting Xianxia eat something of unknown origin. It's simple. Don't you have a good relationship with Huamin? You can go to Huamin and ask her to check for you. What's this? She'll tell you if it's dangerous, so don't worry. I asked you to do this because I'm worried that if you put it in Huaxiqian's teacup alone, he'll be suspicious and refuse to drink it. If that happens, all our efforts will go to waste. He's a very suspicious person. He'll only drink it when he sees Xianxia drinking it. What we need to do is to make sure he drinks it. You can leave the rest to me. Your mission is done. He'll be poisoned in half a month. No one will suspect you if he's dead or alive, right? Hui Yanyan remained silent after hearing Shui's words. However, her heart was beginning to waver. Although Shui's method was vicious, it was indeed a good way to get rid of Huaxiqian. As far as I know, you're the only orphan left in the Hua family. If Huaxiqian dies, the Hua Corporation will return to you. Then, you can openly marry him with the Hua Corporation. The Shuns won't look down on you anymore. Isn't this killing two birds with one stone? Hui Yanyan, why are you still hesitating? Shui tried to convince Hui Yanyan. In other words, she was trying to brainwash her. I'm just curious. Haven't you always loved Huaxiqian? Why would you do something like this to him? How do I know that the two of you aren't working together to frame me? Hui Yanyan asked as she glanced at Shui's face. Shui put out her cigarette after she heard what Huamian said. Then he laughed out loud. Huh? Ha, the most pitiful thing in my life, and the thing I regret the most is falling in love with him. He ruined me and we can't go back to how we were before. So, only when one of us dies can the other be free. I don't have the courage to commit suicide, and in comparison, I want him to die more. Saying that I love him at a time like this is too weak. Because we've been entangled for so many years, and there are so many ties that it's not something that can be explained with just a simple word like love or hate. I've thought about it for a long time before coming to find you. You can choose to believe me, and we can fight against a common enemy together, and then benefit from it. You can also choose not to believe me and not cooperate with me, and I'll think of a way myself, but you'll miss the best opportunity to deal with Huaxiqian. Hui Yanyan's eyes dimmed slightly. She knew Shui wouldn't lie. Everyone in the industry knew about the grudge between Shui and Huaxiqian, so it was likely to be true. Think about it, and give me an answer tomorrow. Time is of the essence, and if you agree, we can make our move next week. Okay, let me think about it. Hui Yanyan took the little black bottle and nodded. Then, Shui got out of the Porsche and drove out of the neighborhood. Holding the little black bottle, Hui Yanyan's heart was filled with complicated emotions. She wanted Huaxiqian dead, but she wanted to take her revenge slowly. She wanted to destroy Huaxiqian's reputation. She wanted to take back the Hua Corporation and humiliate him. She never thought about drugging and killing Huaxiqian with her own hands. Hui Yanyan had never done anything immoral. Not to mention, it was a human life. Therefore, she was very hesitant. Chapter 23:35. Hui Yanyan didn't have Shui's vicious heart, so she couldn't be as decisive as Shui. Hui Yanyan took the medicine Shui gave her, turned around, and went upstairs. Then, she quietly hid the medicine in her makeup bag. Xianxia wouldn't pay attention to it, so he wouldn't notice. Late at night, inside a bar in Sea City, 3 men walked in and immediately attracted everyone's attention. The man walking in front was dressed strangely. It wasn't raining, but he was wearing a black cloak. He was also wearing a hat, so his face couldn't be seen clearly. The 2 men behind him were wearing white cloaks, but they didn't wear hats. The 2 men in white cloaks were obviously Westerners. They were tall and had blonde hair and blue eyes. The man in the lead walked up to the bar counter and lifted his black hat under the spotlight. Instantly, everyone in the bar screamed. He was an extremely handsome foreigner. Although he wasn't young anymore, his facial features were so exquisite that they could drive people crazy. His deep eyes looked even more mesmerizing in the night. There were many foreigners in Sea City, But this was the first time they saw a foreigner with such good looks. He was like David Beckham, who was universally recognized as handsome. "Sir, what would you like to drink?" the waiter asked in fluent English. "Water," the man answered in Chinese. The waiter was surprised by his fluent Chinese. Then he immediately replied, "Okay, please wait a moment." At this moment, different women began to approach him. Some were sexy, some were innocent, some were flirtatious, and some were even wild. These women threw themselves at him dauntlessly. Some didn't speak English, so they used hand gestures. Some only spoke a few simple words in bad English, which was very funny. However, the foreigner rejected them all. He seemed uninterested in all women. Soon a young girl walked in. She was wearing a short black dress and had long hair. Although she wasn't particularly beautiful, she had a good temperament. The two men behind him whispered to the man in the black cloak, "Sir, she's here." The man nodded. He didn't say anything and continued to sip his water. The woman walked in and sat down at the VIP table in the first row. "Xianxia, you're late. You'll have to drink as punishment," a pretty girl sitting at the same table said with a smile. "Don't even mention it. My dad has been obsessed with that vixen Mo Shui, lately. I'm so mad that I gave her all the pink diamonds I bought at the auction. What the hell, I just had a fight with him." The girl picked up a bottle of beer on the table and gulped it down. This was the youngest daughter of the Xiang family. She was also the daughter of the fourth madam of the Xiang family. She had this child at an old age, and this girl was only in her early 20s. She used to be Mr. Xiang's favorite daughter, but things changed after Mo Shui entered the Xiang family. Mo Shui had been in the entertainment industry for many years. She knew all kinds of tricks. Mr. Xiang doted on her very much and was willing to give her everything, which caused the Xiang family to split apart. The fourth branch's Madame Dowager had always been at odds with each other on the surface, so Mo Shui's involvement only made things worse. "Alright, that bitch is just your father's pet. Why are you being jealous? Your father loves you so much, he will definitely give you a lot of property in the future. Don't worry," her friends comforted her. Suddenly, one of the girls said, Exen, look at that handsome guy over there. Are you interested?" But Xianxia was surprised. "The one sitting at the bar." The girl pointed in the direction of the bar. Xianxia looked up and stared for a while. "A foreigner." Chapter 23:36. "Yeah, he's so cool. He's been here for a while. He doesn't drink, he only ordered water," one of the girls said with a smitten look on her face. "He only ordered water? Is he poor?" Xianxia didn't think much of it. "Of course not. Look at his shoes. They're from the most luxurious brand in Italy. Do you think he can't afford to drink? He's so cool." Xianxia looked at the man's shoes. Indeed, they were from the most luxurious brand in Italy. They were custom-made and cost more than 100,000 a pair. In this city, only super-rich people like Su Yu and Tang Chuan could afford to wear them. This foreigner was definitely not a poor guy. But he's dressed so strangely. It's winter and it's not raining. Why is he wearing a cloak? He looks like a vampire. Xianxia muttered to herself. That's called personality, you know? Nowadays, foreigners are all about performance. It's not something that ordinary people like us can understand. But if you guys like him, why are you still standing here? Xianxia took a sip of wine and egged on her friends. "We tried, but we all failed. He didn't even look at us." Just then, the man at the bar turned his head and looked in Xianxia's direction. Xianxia happened to be looking in that direction as well. The moment their eyes met. When their eyes met, Xianxia froze. The man smiled. His eyes and the curve of his lips were so beautiful. "Oh, he's smiling at you." The girls around Xianxia pushed her. She touched the corner of her mouth and felt that it was too unreal. Was he really smiling at her? "It seems like foreigners like you." Xianxia let him. The girls egged her on. "Me? Forget it. I don't think I can do it." She didn't have the courage to do it. Just then, a foreigner wearing a white cloak walked over from the bar. She walked up to Xianxia and said politely, "Miss, my boss would like to invite you over for a drink." "Hey, you guys. Xianxia didn't expect it to be her. Ever since she was a child, she had always been the most inconspicuous person. She didn't expect to see her this time. Hurry up and go. What are you waiting for? A few girls pushed Xianxia to her feet in envy. She followed the man in a daze. To be honest, she was nervous too. After all, she had never struck up a conversation with a foreigner before. What would you like to drink? He asked in Chinese. Xianxia was just about to answer when he continued. Bloody Mary, do you like it? Xianxia shook her head. I don't like it. Well, I don't like it either, because I think the smell of blood isn't strong enough. It's too faint. The man in the black cloak smiled. Hearing that, Xianxia felt that something was wrong, but she couldn't figure out what it was. Plain water isn't bad. Have a sip first. I'll treat you to something better later. The black-cloaked man smiled mysteriously. When he looked at her, his eyes seemed to have a hypnotic power. Xianxia didn't like drinking plain water, but she drank it for some reason. After that, she followed the men and left. Hey look, Xianxia left with that foreigner. It can't be. So fast? Can't wait to get a room? That's amazing. Oh, I'm so jealous. I heard that foreigners are very good in bed. Tomorrow I'll ask Xianxia about it. The girls saw their companion being taken away with their own eyes, but they didn't realize the danger. That was until something extremely terrifying happened. Chapter 23:37. Xianxia followed him out in a daze and got into the black Mercedes-Benz. Then, they arrived at a place that looked like an old castle. There were very few people here and it was very quiet. What is this place? Xianxia seemed to have just realized where she was. This is where I'm staying. Isn't it nice? The man smiled. This place is so dangerous. It's an abandoned house. Why don't you stay in a hotel? Xianxia looked around and realized that it looked like an abandoned church. There were weeds and cobwebs everywhere. It looked disgusting. A hotel? Why would a hotel have this kind of ambience? The man smiled. Just then, his subordinates handed over 2 wine glasses. There was a red, sticky liquid inside. Xianxia thought it was red wine. I just said that I'll treat you to something better. Futures. The man handed a glass to Xianxia. When she took it and put it to her mouth, the bloody taste was so strong that she almost vomited. What is this? She held the glass and asked. In fact, she already had an answer in her heart. You should try it. It's very delicious. Then, the man looked up and drank the red liquid in his glass. Because the liquid was too sticky, the corner of the man's mouth was stained with something red. Xianxia thought it was blood. This is blood? Xianxia was terrified after she asked this question. No, it's not just blood. It's human blood. The man answered. The glass in Xianxia's hand fell to the ground and shattered. Then blood flowed everywhere. She took another 2 steps back herself. Or you. She realized that these people who took her away were not kind people. What a pity. You wasted my drink. How sad. The man looked down at the blood on the ground and frowned slightly. I'm the young lady of the Xiang family. My daddy is very powerful. Let me tell you. Xianxia kept stepping back and yelling as if she wanted to scare these people away. The man looked up and smiled. Baby, you have to pay me back with a drink first. Then, 2 men in white cloaks walked up and grabbed Xianxia. What do you want? She struggled with all her might. The man suddenly had a dagger in his hand. He walked up to Xianxia step by step. Then he lifted her left wrist. What are you doing? Save me, save me. She screamed with all her might. With a tearing motion, she felt a sharp pain in her wrist, followed by a numbing sensation. Then, blood flowed out from the wound. The man took an empty wine glass and took it from below. At this moment, Xianxia felt that her heart was about to collapse. Even horror movies weren't this scary, right? She even suspected that she had met a vampire. After the man filled the wine glass with blood, he put it to his mouth and licked it with his tongue. This perverted action made Xianxia want to puke. It tastes pretty good. Do you want to have a sip? He brought the glass to Xianxia's lips. Get your hands off me, you pervert. Help me. Xianxia screamed in despair. She felt like she was in a nightmare, and everything felt so surreal. Since your taste suits my taste quite well, I'll give you a chance to give yourself to me. What do you want to do? She had a bad feeling. Chapter 23:38. Drain her blood. The man threw the dagger on the floor. Then he turned around with the wine glass in his hand. Xianxia felt as if something was about to explode in her head. 4 a.m. in the Xiang family mansion. Master, bad news. Bad news. A security guard ran in and knocked on Master Xiang's door. Mo Shui, who was sharing a bed with Master Xiang, also woke up. What's wrong? Master Xiang woke up in a bad mood. Miss Xianxia? The security guard didn't know how to speak. What happened to Xianxia? Master Xiang asked. You should go and see for yourself. The security guard trembled in fear. Mo Shui woke up as well. Master Xiang, let's go take a look. They hurriedly put on their clothes. Mo Shui helped Master Xiang out. Mo Shui and Master Xiang were dumbfounded when they saw what was happening. What's going on? Mo Shui was dumbfounded. She had never encountered something like this before. There was a black coffin without a lid in front of the Xiang family mansion. Inside the coffin was Master Xiang's youngest daughter, Xianxia. She was wearing a white dress and looked like she was asleep. Her face was pale and her hands were crossed in front of her chest. There wasn't a trace of blood on his bare feet, which looked extremely horrifying. Someone, save my daughter. Send her to the hospital. Mr. Xiang was going crazy. Master, Miss Xian is dead, the security guard reminded him. Master Xiang felt a sharp pain in his chest and leaned back. Master Xiang, call an ambulance. Mo Shui was terrified. Police cars and ambulances went in and out of the Xiang family mansion until 8 a.m. The news media also rushed over to interview and report, and only then did everyone know what had happened. Master Xiang was hospitalized at South Side. The police sent Xianxian's body to South Side for a forensic examination. When Min went to work, he saw Lin Mingyu, whom he hadn't seen in a while. To be honest, he was embarrassed to see him. After all, he had used him before. Dr. Hua, good morning. Oh, wait, you're Deputy Director Min now. Lin Mingyu took the initiative to greet Min. Dr. Lin, why are you here? Min was stunned. There was a murder last night. The body of the victim is here. Chief Gao asked me to come here to do an autopsy. Murder case? Min was stunned when he heard about the murder case. Yes, the method was extremely cruel. The victim was the eldest daughter of the Xiang family. She was only 20 years old, and all the blood in her body had been drained. There was not a single drop of blood left. She was like a mummy. Before she died, she was sexually assaulted, and her lower body was torn apart. Her death was extremely tragic. Chief Gao and the others have already set up the Major Crimes Division, and the higher-ups are taking this matter very seriously. It seems that this was done by a perverted killer. Min felt that this might just be a vicious murder case, and it had nothing to do with him. When Min was doing his rounds, he accidentally saw Mo Shui in the corridor. He didn't know who she was calling. However, she was extremely agitated. I'm telling you, this was definitely done by Wuxia. Only a pervert like him would do something like this. Can you stop hesitating? If you delay any longer, we're both done for. He attacked Xianxia because he wanted to show off to me and to Mr. Xiang. Mo Shui insisted that Wuxia was the culprit. Min's first reaction was that it was impossible. Although Wuxia was cruel, he wouldn't go so far as to bleed a girl, right? When Mo Shui turned around and saw Min, she hung up the phone. Min didn't plan on talking to her, so he continued walking. Min, did you know that Wuxia has dual personality disorder? Mo Shui suddenly asked. Min stopped walking after he heard what she said. Chapter 23:39. Dissociative Identity Disorder? Min tilted his head and looked at Mo Shui. You probably don't know this. Ha, The scariest thing about Wuxia isn't how cruel and ruthless he is. It's because of his personality. There are two souls living in his body, and they have completely different personalities. One of them is the side that we've seen, and the other side is the side that's especially scary and demonic. Mo Shui said in all seriousness. But so what? What does that have to do with me? Huamin calmly glanced at Mo Shui's face. Haven't you always wanted to find out what he did in the past? Including Jiang Linyue's death, Song Yishi's death, and even Wang Shasha's death. Miss Mo, I think you're mistaken. I'm not a cop, and I'm not that curious. Who Wuxia killed has nothing to do with me. It doesn't matter to me whether or not he has dissociative identity disorder. Aren't you afraid that he'll threaten you and your daughters in the future? Mo Shui frowned. I believe that my husband will protect us. Miss Mo, you should worry about yourself. After all, you've done so many things to piss him off. You're on your own now, Huamin said coldly. Huamin, I finally know why Wuxia likes you so much. It's because you're just like him, cold-blooded and heartless. You talk about kindness, righteousness, and morality, but in reality, you're just a selfish hypocrite. Mo Shui sneered. Miss Mo, you've overestimated me. I've never talked about kindness, righteousness, or morality. I'm not Lei Feng. I don't care about a good reputation or do good deeds. I only care about the people I care about. As for everyone else, they have nothing to do with me. Then Huamin walked away. Huamin, you'll regret this. If you don't get rid of Wuxia, he'll destroy your family sooner or later. Mo Shui roared. The truth was, she wanted to force Huamian to make a move out of anger, but she didn't expect Huamian to be so calm. Mo Shui was certain that Wuxia was behind the incident with the Xiang family. She even believed that she was the next target. That was why he had hurriedly called Hu Yanyan and urged her to make the decision quickly so that he could take action. This was because it was no longer a matter of whether they wanted to get rid of Wuxia or not. They had to do it. Xianxia's tragic death was a bloody example of this. Knocking the mountain to warn the tiger, or killing the chicken to warn the monkey. The Xiang family had protected Mo Shui for so long, but Wuxia didn't do anything. She already felt that something was off. Now, Xianxia's tragic death was like a landmine that made things even more complicated. Mo Shui hung up the phone, turned around, and walked into Mr. Xiang's room. Mr. Xiang, what do you think? Mo Shui asked with red eyes as she pretended to walk over. My Xinxinji. Mr. Xiang's face was filled with sorrow. It didn't feel good to see his daughter die before her own. He frowned in dissatisfaction and his fingers trembled slightly as he muttered Xianxia's name. Mr. Xiang, I'm sure Wuxia is behind this. We can't let this go on any longer. We have to fight back. Otherwise, he'll push us and the entire Xiang family to the ground. I know what he's capable of. He dared to do this to Xianxia because he knows you love her the most. That's why he wanted to give you a fatal blow. Mo Shui quickly fanned the flames. Chapter 2340. Wuxia, you and I will never forgive each other. Mr. Xiang was convinced that Wuxia was the culprit behind the murder. The Xiang family's legal team even contacted the police and demanded that Wuxia be thoroughly investigated and that he be charged with murder. Mo Shui even got into a huge argument with Gao Ran at the hospital. She accused the police of not doing a good job. What have you been doing with our taxpayers' money? Someone died, it's such a big case, why aren't you investigating it? I already said that the number one suspect is Wuxia, why aren't you arresting him for questioning? What are you waiting for? Mo Shui's attitude was extremely bad. Gao Ran had always hated Mo Shui's arrogance, so he replied in a huff. Miss Mo, please watch your tone. We police officers are humans too, we're not gods. Have you watched too many TV shows? Do you think we're Detective Conan or Detective Conan? If there's a murder case, of course we'll take it seriously and get to the bottom of it. However, you're asking us to solve the case in a short period of time. Which one of your eyes saw Wuxia kill someone? Of course he doesn't have to kill her, He has a lot of lackeys working for him. Why would he do it himself? But it must be him, he has the motive. Xianxia is a young girl, she doesn't have a boyfriend, so it's not a crime of passion. The Xiang family doesn't have any enemies, so it's definitely not a crime of revenge. The only suspicious person is Wuxia. Shui was certain that Wuxia hired someone to kill Xianxia. But this is a matter of life and death, you can't convict him with just a few words. We'll investigate it, and if Wuxia really did it, we won't let him get away with it, Gao Ran replied sternly. Forget it, I can't trust you police officers. Last time, Min and Qin Chu were used as scapegoats because of Song Yishi's incident. You guys were fooled as well, so I shouldn't count on you guys. I'll figure it out myself. Then, Shui turned around and walked back into the hospital room. Gao Ran's face turned green with anger. Just then, Lin Mingyu walked out of the hospital, wearing white gloves and smelling of formalin. Chief. Lin Mingyu greeted him respectfully. How is it? The time of death was between 2 a.m. and 3:30 a.m. yesterday. The cause of death was a cut on the wrist, which resulted in a ruptured tendon and excessive bleeding. The murderer was extremely cruel, and the victim's blood seemed to have been drained dry. I don't think this was an accident, it was done on purpose. Also, the victim was raped before she died. You could say that it was done multiple times because her lower body was severely injured. However, there were no signs of rape. This means that the murderer didn't do it alone, and he was very careful when he committed the crime. Lin Mingyu analyzed the situation professionally after the autopsy. Motherfucker, they really didn't let me live in peace. Gao Ran was extremely frustrated as well, and he kicked the wall in the hallway. As the leader of the municipal bureau, it was an insult to him that such a horrible murder happened right under his nose. This was a provocation to the Public Security Department. What do we do now, Chief? Director Gao? Lin Mingyu asked. Let's return the body to the Xiang family after we've examined it. They probably want to hold a funeral. The higher-ups are taking this matter very seriously, and I'll investigate it thoroughly. I'll go back to the municipal bureau and see if there are any other clues. Then, Gao Ran walked out in a huff and bumped into Min. Hey, Gao Ran, you're here too? Min looked at him. Chapter 2341. Yeah, I'm here to see if I can find any clues. Gao Ran was obviously not in a good mood. I heard about the murder, I saw Lin Mingyu. It's pretty scary, a nice girl was killed. Min didn't know who Xianxia was, but he still felt sorry for her. I have a feeling that it's not that simple. Gao Ran said slowly. You mean? Min didn't know what Gao Ran was talking about. The Xiang family has been in the city for many years, and Mr. Xiang is quite famous. Most people wouldn't kill his favorite daughter, let alone do it so viciously. Do you think this has something to do with Wuxia? Min asked cautiously. I can't say for sure, I don't have any evidence, so I don't dare to say anything. Look into it, I'm going back to the bureau. It's not peaceful these days, so be careful. Gao Ran left the hospital after giving his orders. Min went back to his office after his ward rounds. As soon as he entered his office, his phone rang. Hello, Mr. Qin. Min smiled. He looked at the man on the other side of the screen, and all the gloominess in his heart disappeared. Are you busy? Qin Chu asked gently. I just finished my ward rounds, and I'm going to eat in a bit. Yeah, I just finished a meeting too. Oh right, I just saw Gao Ran. There was a murder last night, did you know about it? Min said to Qin Chu. Yeah, I saw the news, all the major media outlets are reporting about it. Yeah, it's tragic, the victim is the youngest daughter of the Xiang family. She's only 20 years old and she's as pretty as a flower. Lin Mingyu came to do the autopsy, and so did Gao Ran. It's a bad thing. I heard that the little girl died a horrible death. The nurses at our hospital are all saying that it might be the work of a vampire. A vampire? Qin Chu frowned slightly. Yeah, there's no blood left on the body, it was all drained. Min said with a straight face. Are there teeth marks on her neck? Mr. Qin asked even more nonsensical questions. Min, Honey, that's not a funny question, Huamin said with a pout. I heard that Mr. Xiang's at Southside. Yeah, he's in's VIP room. He's been on a 4-drip for a long time. Mo Shui is here too, right? Yeah, I saw her in the hallway. Was Huaqin Chu's was to Huamin, was it? Honey, what's your shift these days? Qin Chu asked again. It's the day shift these few days, Huazen exit. What's wrong? Honey, what does this have to do with me? Are you worried that I'll be scared? Don't worry, I'm not a little girl anymore. I won't be like those little girls, imagining things like vampires and zombies. I know it's scary, but I'm a doctor. I won't be so impractical. Huamin chuckled. No, I just think that Mo Shui has something to do with the Xiang family. Mo Shui is at Southside right now, and I'm worried that the murderer might come to Southside. A murderer who's capable of killing someone with such cruel methods is extremely scary. So, you have to be careful while you're at the hospital. It doesn't matter if you're on the day or night shift, you can't let your guard down, Qin Chu reminded Huamin worriedly. Chapter 2342. Don't worry, honey. If Mo Shui's enemy, then it has nothing to do with me. I'm not Mo Shui's best friend, so I'll be fine. Anyways, be careful, Qin Chu reminded her worriedly. Okay, I know, honey. I will. Okay, then go eat. I'll pick you up if I get off work early. Okay. The couple hung up after the video call. Qin Chu stood up worriedly and stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window in his office. He was dressed in a white shirt and black pants. Even if he was dressed simply, he still looked stunning. President Qin. Assistant Yang knocked on the door and entered. It's time for lunch. Do you want to go to the restaurant or downstairs? Nope, I don't have an appetite, Qin Chu said slowly as he looked out the window. Sir, what's wrong? Did you have a fight with President Hua? Assistant Yang thought that a powerful man like President Qin wouldn't be in a bad mood unless he had an argument with the person he cared about the most. Even if the company's revenue dropped by a few dozen points in a quarter, President Qin wouldn't be in such a bad mood. No, we didn't fight. Then? Assistant Yang was confused. I'm fine. Go eat. If you want to eat anything, let me know. I'll buy it for you. Go out. Qin Chu wasn't in a good mood. After sending Assistant Yang away, he stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window and stared at it for a long time. He had this feeling since a few days ago. For some reason, he felt uneasy. He felt like something bad was going to happen, but he didn't know what he could do. Qin Chu didn't like this feeling of helplessness. What corporation headquarters? Boss, what should we do? Should we ask the PR department to release a statement? The rumors are getting worse and worse. They're just one step away from saying that you killed her. Especially that bitch Mo Shui. Oh, she's been implying that you had something to do with what happened to the Xiang family. She even told the media that you went to the Xiang family's house multiple times. That bitch wants to frame you. Hua Xiqian's subordinates defended their boss. Hua Xiqian was being attacked even when he was lying down. Obviously, he had done nothing, but he was inexplicably treated as a murderer. He had been accused of being directly related to Xianxia's death. All the major media outlets reported that Xianxia was seen at a bar with her best friends before she died. Then, she hooked up with a mysterious handsome foreign guy in a bar. After that, she disappeared without a trace. It was not until the next morning that the corpse appeared in front of the Xiang family's house. There's no need to explain. I'm afraid that some things will only get worse the more you explain, Hua Xiqian said slowly. But if this goes on, the police will also suspect you. The police need evidence to arrest people. This has nothing to do with me, so we don't have to do anything, Hua Xiqian said confidently. Boss, do you think that bitch Mo Shui hired someone to do it and then framed you? If that's the case, then we can't let this woman live. We have to kill her. Hua Xiqian's subordinate made a bold guess. Hua Xiqian shook his head. Although Mo Shui is ruthless, she wouldn't kill someone like this. She wouldn't have the guts to drain all the blood from the victim. She wouldn't have the guts to do something as perverted as that. She wouldn't be so strong-willed either. Boss, do you think that someone else is behind this? Chapter 2343. Huasiqian didn't say anything. He took out a Brazilian cigar and sniffed it. He didn't know what he was thinking. Inside the interrogation room, the waiter and Xianxia's friends who were drinking with her that day were all brought in for questioning. When was the last time you saw Xianxia? Gao Ran asked. Last night, we were drinking at the bar. She came in late and was in a bad mood. She said her dad was nice to his mistress, the girl recalled carefully. Then the foreigner who came to the bar kept looking at her. We thought he was interested in her, so we teased her. Then she really went with him. I think she drank something and left with him. Did Xianxia know that guy? No, we didn't know him. We thought he was very handsome, so we were unconsciously attracted to him. What did he look like? Do you remember? The lights were dim, so I can't remember the details. Also, foreigners all look the same, but they look different from us. So, I can't tell you. By the way, isn't there a surveillance camera in the bar? You can check it, right? The girl suddenly realized and suggested to Gao Ran. The surveillance camera has been tampered with. We can't find anything. What? That's so creepy. The girl was frightened. Officers, you have to check it out. Xianxia died so tragically. You have to catch the murderer. If that foreigner really did it, even if we can't convict him, we can't let him get away with it. We'll do our job. Don't worry. The interrogation went on for the whole morning, but there was no result. The waiter and Xianxia's friends all pointed to a foreigner. However, they couldn't describe the man's appearance. After all, he was wearing a black cloak that night. Plus, the bar was dimly lit. Boss, do you want us to check the information of foreigners who recently entered and left the city? One of his subordinates asked. It's useless. If they dare to do this, they won't be able to find anything. Gao Ran sighed with his hands on his waist. Sure enough, his subordinates checked the immigration information for a while, but they didn't find anything wrong. Why don't we check all the foreigners living in the city? Eliminate them one by one? There are at least 800 foreigners in the city. How do we check? Check one by one? Before you can investigate anything, the next victim might have already been killed. This method is really not feasible. Gao Ran did not agree to use this stupid method. What should we do, boss? The provincial government is urging us to solve the case as soon as possible. The police in the city bureau were also very anxious. Such a thing had happened so suddenly, and they had no clue at all. I think we should look at the root cause of this case. The murderer obviously didn't kill Xianxia for her money or her body. He left her body in front of her house and even made a coffin for her. Why would he do that? Gao Ran asked. To provoke. A quick-witted policewoman answered. Gao Ran nodded. It must be proof that this person was meant for the Xiang family or Elder Xiang. This proves that this is not the end, but the beginning. Perhaps the next victim will be another member of the Xiang family. You guys, hurry up and send people to protect the other direct members of the Xiang family, whether it's the elderly, children, or women. Protect them all. Gao Ran didn't think this case would end so soon, so he asked people to protect the other members of the Xiang family first. Late at night, in the corridor of the hospital, Emo Shui couldn't sleep, so she found a secluded corridor to smoke. When she came back, she vaguely saw a shadow behind her. Who is it? She turned around alertly. Chapter 2344. When Emo Shui turned around, there was no one behind her. It was 12:30 p.m. Emo Shui never had a good night's sleep, especially since the Xiang family was in trouble. Mr. Xiang was still in the hospital and Xianxia's funeral hadn't been held yet. She didn't want to stay at the Xiang family's house, so she thought it would be safer to stay at the hospital. Not only did she have bodyguards, but there were also a lot of people at South Side. Most people wouldn't think of attacking in the hospital. Emo Shui panicked. She threw the cigarette in her hand to the ground and stomped on it. Then she quickly walked into the room. She walked faster and faster until she was jogging. When she finally reached the door, 2 bodyguards stood at the door. When they saw Emo Shui gasping for air, they quickly went up to help her up. Miss Emo, are you okay? I'm fine. Emo Shui waved her hands. Did anyone suspicious show up just now? No, not a single person, the bodyguard replied. Okay, I got it. Emo Shui opened the door and walked into the room. Mr. Xiang was already asleep. He was wearing an oxygen mask. After Xianxia's death, Mr. Xiang had a heart attack and almost passed away. He was resuscitated twice at Southside and was still in critical condition. Emo Shui hoped that Mr. Xiang didn't die yet. After all, she hadn't finished using him yet. After she dealt with Wuxia, she would go abroad. She didn't care what happened to the Xiang family. Emo Shui was relieved when she returned to the room. She tossed and turned but couldn't fall asleep. She took out her phone and sent Hui Yanyan a WeChat message. What do you think about that thing? We don't have much time left. After a while, Hui Yanyan didn't reply. She must have fallen asleep. Emo Shui was tired. She got up and was about to wash her face when the door opened. A petite nurse wearing a mask walked in. Miss Emo, it's time to change Mr. Xiang's medicine. Okay, go ahead. Emo Shui nodded. She didn't suspect anything. The nurse quickly picked up a long syringe and inserted it into Mr. Xiang's fore. Emo Shui had her back to the nurse and was about to walk to the bathroom. Suddenly, she felt numbness in her neck, as if something had pricked her. She was in pain at first, and then she lost consciousness. The nurse took off her mask, revealing her delicate face. She had blonde hair and blue eyes. The bodyguard didn't notice what was under the curtain when the nurse pushed the trolley out. The night passed peacefully until the next morning. When Ho Min came to work in the morning, he saw police cars parked at the entrance of Southside. What happened this time? Ho Min was puzzled. Then he saw Gao Ran walk out with a dark face. Gao Ran, what happened this time? Ho Min asked. Elder Xiang died last night. Dead? How did he die? Ho Min was shocked. Murder. Someone tampered with his oxygen mask and injected poisonous gas into it, killing him instantly. Then, what about Emo Shui? Hasn't she been keeping you company in the ward? Ho Min asked. Emo Shui is missing. Gao Ran looked worried. Missing? How could that be? Ho Min suddenly felt that the situation was getting more and more confusing. I think it's weird too. We haven't even found the truth about Xianxia's death, and now something has happened here. I think I'm done as the bureau chief. Gao Ran felt a headache just thinking about it. Yesterday, he ordered people to protect the other members of the Xiang family, but today, something happened to Elder Xiang. Moreover, it happened in a place like Southside, where there were so many people. He had to admit that the culprit was extremely daring. Did you see the hospital's surveillance cameras? Yeah, it's the same as the one at the bar. Someone tampered with it and no one knew. One dead, one miss. We're starting to suspect that Emo Shui killed Elder Xiang. Maybe she ran away to avoid punishment. Gao Ran analyzed. Then, do you suspect Wuxia? Ho Min asked slowly. Chapter 23:45. What's the point of suspecting him? Wuxia has an alibi, and I've sent people to spy on him. He's between the Huo Corporation and Wuxia's mansion, and he hasn't moved at all. We've also monitored his phone, and he didn't give any orders to his subordinates. So, there's no reason for us to arrest him and interrogate him. That's strange. Everyone knows that Wuxia is the only one who has a grudge against the Xiang family or Emo Shui. He hasn't done anything yet, and people are disappearing one after another. This is really strange. Ho Min felt that something was strange about this case, but she couldn't tell what was strange about it. I've interrogated a lot of witnesses who saw Xianxia, and they all said that she was taken away by a few foreigners. As you know, foreigners are sensitive, and it's extremely inconvenient for them to commit crimes in China. Foreigners? Ho Min furrowed her brows slightly. She wasn't interested in this case, but Emo Shui's disappearance made her feel that this case wasn't as simple as it seemed. Yeah, they didn't know what they looked like, and the surveillance cameras were tampered with. So, I don't have any leads. Gao Ran sighed slightly with his hands on his hips. How did this happen? Ho Min also felt that this was a very difficult case. Okay, Ho Min, you go back to work. I'll send someone over to do an autopsy on Mr. Xiang. Then, we'll continue to investigate Mo Shui's disappearance. After Gao Ran left, Huamin couldn't calm down. She returned to her office and thought about it for a while. In the end, she still felt that it was time to call Huaxiqian. She couldn't remember how long it had been since she last called Huaxiqian. If it weren't for everything that had happened recently, she probably wouldn't have taken the initiative to call him. Huaxiqian was slightly surprised when he saw the caller ID. When he saw Huamin's number, he thought that his eyes were playing tricks on him. After confirming that it was Huaxiqian, he couldn't suppress the ecstasy in his heart and picked up the phone. Mia. His voice was so gentle that it didn't sound like him. Huaxiqian, let me ask you, do the things that happened recently have anything to do with you? Huaxiqian was being straightforward. Unfriendly. Huaxiqian, what are you talking about? The Xiang's death, Mr. Xiang's murder, or Mo Shui's disappearance? Huaxiqian asked. All of them. Would you believe me if I said I didn't do it? Huaxiqian asked in a low voice. But why are all of them related to you? Do you know? Mo Shui is directly related to you. Yesterday at the hospital, she even mentioned you to me. She said that you have dual. Huamin suddenly remembered that Gao Ran said that Huaxiqian's phone was being monitored by the Public Security Bureau. Therefore, she stopped herself in time and didn't mention his dual personality. Go on. Huaxiqian said faintly. What I mean is, if you did it, don't try to be mysterious. Just admit it. If I didn't do it, do I have to take the blame? Huaxiqian chuckled. No, that's not what I meant. I just wanted to say that it's best if you didn't do it. After all, murder isn't a small matter. Also, there have been a lot of incidents recently. Although it's the Xiang family, I have a feeling that it has something to do with you. If you didn't do it, then you have to be careful. You might be the next target. Huamin said word by word. Chapter 2346. So, Mian, are you reminding me to take care of myself? You care about me, don't you? Huaxiqian's voice contained a hint of childish joy. You're overthinking it. I don't care about you. I'm just reminding you out of kindness. After all, I don't want to see you get killed one day and sent to South Side. Huamin replied coldly. No matter what, I'm still happy that you said that. Huaxiqian said gently as he held onto the phone. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Wait. Huaxiqian hurriedly shouted. Is there anything else? Can you take some time off? What? Huamin frowned slightly, not sure what Huaxiqian meant. Mian, why don't you take some time off? Take your husband and kids overseas for a vacation or something. Bali, Saipan, the Maldives, anywhere is good. Anyways, go relax and travel. Why? Huamin was confused. Why would Huaxiqian ask her to take a vacation out of the blue? Because the city hasn't been peaceful recently. I'm worried that you'll be scared. After all, such a brutal murder happened and everyone is on edge. I'm not worried about that. Don't forget, I'm a doctor and I come across a lot of dead people every day. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Not wanting to waste time talking to Huaxiqian, Huamin hung up the phone. In fact, she just wanted to know if this incident was caused by Huaxiqian. After all, Mo Shui was the person closest to him. However, Huaxiqian really didn't seem to be involved. So, who could it be? On the other hand, Huaxiqian hung up the phone, also worried. He vaguely knew who did it, but he didn't even dare to send people to investigate. He was afraid that he would alert the enemy, men. Huaxiqian called for his men at the door. Boss, send more people to protect Mian. Whether she's at work or off, keep an eye on her. Yes, boss. Huaxiqian didn't care about anyone's life or death, except for Huamin. Russia, Moscow, an ancient castle in the suburbs. Miss Lu, you can't go out. The tall Russian bodyguard blocked Lu Yan's way. Lu Yan was wearing a white cashmere coat with a white fox fur collar. Her long hair was slightly curled. Her dark brown hair draped over her shoulders like seaweed. Coupled with her stunning face, it was indeed the most beautiful scenery in the cold. Fuck off. Lu Yan's eyes were cold and didn't look like she was just joking. Miss Lu, please don't make things difficult for us. Young master said that you can't leave this place. Not to mention you guys, even Xiao Fei can't stop me. Get out of my way, don't force me to kill. Miss Lu. Before the bodyguard could finish, he stopped abruptly. A silver pistol appeared in Lu Yan's hand and she pointed it between the bodyguard's eyebrows. Lu Yan's marksmanship was fast and accurate. That was something that all the assassins in the world knew. The bodyguard didn't dare to move because he knew that this lady wasn't joking. Life was worthless in her hands. Just then, a cold voice came from behind her. Yan, what are you doing? Lu Yan turned around and saw Xiao Fei in a Russian military uniform. His silver hair shone in the night. Psycho Xiao, you came at the right time. Tell them to get out of my way, I want to leave. No, you can't go anywhere. Xiao Fei's attitude was firm. Xiao Fei, do you know? Ian went to see City. My sister's family will be in danger. Lu Yan's eyes were anxious. Chapter 2347. I know. Xiao Fei was calm. Then why won't you let me go? Lu Yan raised her voice in anger. It's because I know he's here that I can't let you go. You know he's looking for you everywhere. If you go, you'll die. Xiao Fei looked into Lu Yan's eyes quietly. But if I don't go, my sister and her family, he doesn't know your sister's identity. Xiao Fei corrected her. But he'll find out sooner or later. If he does, we'll be in trouble. You know my sister is different from me. She's just an ordinary person. Lu Yan was getting more and more scared. Calm down. Qin Chu isn't an ordinary person. He'll protect his wife and daughter, but that's Ian. Lu Yan knew Qin Chu wasn't an ordinary person, but no one could fight back against Ian. She and her dad were powerful, but they still managed to hide from Ian for years. How do you know Qin Chu will lose to Ian? Xiao Fei seemed to have confidence in Qin Chu. Psycho Xiao, I don't want to waste my time with you. I just want to ask you one thing. Are you going to let me go or not? Lu Yan was getting anxious. What if I don't? Then I'll have to be impolite. Lu Yan's eyes changed. Do whatever you want. Shoot me if you can, and then you can leave. Xiao Fei walked closer to Lu Yan and pointed her gun at his chest. Xiao Fei. Lu Yan didn't expect Xiao Fei to be so determined to stop her from going to Sea City. Do you think I don't dare? Lu Yan was furious. I don't think you don't dare. I know you're capable of anything because you've always been the fearless Lu Yan. You can either shoot me and leave, or go back and stay here. Xiao Fei said it casually, as if he didn't think he would die under Lu Yan's gun in the next second. You're sure that I won't shoot you, aren't you? I didn't. I told you, do whatever you want. The two of them stared at each other coldly. Lu Yan's hand trembled slightly with the pistol in her hand. She would never shoot Xiao Fei. She was scared to death when she found out that Xiao Fei was going to die. Later, when Xiao Fei was rescued, she still remembered the feeling of regaining what she had lost. She knew that Xiao Fei did not want her to go there for her own good. Ian might not know her sister's identity, but he would definitely notice her. At that time, when they met, a battle of life and death would be inevitable. Although Lu Yan wasn't a pushover, she still couldn't defeat Ian. This was a fact that they all knew. Finally, Lu Yan sighed and put down the gun. You won, she said listlessly. I'm doing this for you. Let's fight. Don't threaten me, and I won't make things difficult for you. Do you dare? Psycho Xiao? Lu Yan lifted her chin and looked at him confidently. Xiao Fei looked at the little girl in front of him calmly. Let's do karate. Draw a circle. Whoever can force the other out of the circle wins. If you win, I won't mention going to Sea City again. If you lose, then you have to prepare a helicopter for me, Lu Yan said in a domineering tone. Chapter 2348. What if I don't agree to fight with you? Xiao Fei, screw you. Lu Yan was furious. Yan, don't try so hard. I promised Dad that I'd take good care of you. What if something happens to my sister? Lu Yan yelled at Xiao Fei. I'll keep an eye on her. If she's in danger, I'll find a way to save her. I won't let anything happen to her. You saved my life, so I'm not a cold-blooded person, Xiao Fei promised Lu Yen. Really? Hearing this, Lu Yen felt a bit relieved. When have I ever lied to you? If that's the case, why don't you have the guts to fight with me? Are you afraid of losing? Lu Yen raised her chin proudly. No, I'm just not interested in the bet, Xiao Fei said faintly. What do you want to bet? Lu Yen was speechless at this guy. If I win, you'll sleep in my bed tonight, okay? Xiao Fei was so calm that he even dared to say such bold words in front of his subordinates. Lu Yen didn't even have time to blush. She was so angry that she didn't know what to say. I don't want to play with you anymore. Humph, tell me, I'm going to take a nap. Then, Lu Yen turned around and went back into the castle. She didn't mention going to see City again, nor did she mention something as childish as a fight. Xiao Fei looked at the unruly little girl and heaved a sigh of relief when she finally stopped being willful. He turned around and walked back. He picked up his cell phone and dialed a number. Qin Chu had just finished a meeting at the company. When he walked out, he received a call from an unknown number. The phone app automatically recognized that the number was from Russia. These two words made Qin Chu think of Xiao Fei and Lu Yen. After the hurried farewell on New Year's Eve, he hadn't heard from them. At this thought, Qin Chu picked up the phone. Brother-in-law, it's Xiao Fei. Xiao Fei called him brother-in-law very naturally. I know. Qin Chu was even calmer than Xiao Fei. It was as if they had known each other for a long time. I have some news for you. Okay, go ahead. Qin Chu nodded as he walked. According to our reliable sources, Ian arrived in Sea City 2 days ago. What did you say? Qin Chu felt his body tremble. You didn't find out because he changed his appearance when he entered the country. What others saw wasn't Ian's real face. That's why they didn't feel anything. So that's how it is. Qin Chu finally understood. No wonder he had a bad premonition recently. As expected, Ian was here, and there was a series of recent events. What did Ian's visit have to do with the Xiang family and Mo Shui? Why would this be? Qin Chu's brain worked quickly, so a series of questions popped out. Yen is afraid that her sister's identity will be exposed. You know how much she loves her sister. That's why she insisted on going over today. But I don't want to alert her. I don't think Ian already knows about her sister's identity. Otherwise, things wouldn't be so peaceful, Xiao Fei analyzed calmly. You're right. I think so too. Qin Chu agreed with Xiao Fei. If Ian knew about Huamin's identity, he would have done it a long time ago. He wouldn't be so quiet. But it's still better to be on guard. There's no harm in being vigilant. Ian's methods are too cruel. Brother-in-law, you have to be careful at all times. You have to protect your family, Xiao Fei reminded him. Chapter 2349. Okay, I got it. Thank you for the information. My people will keep a close eye on Ian's every move. If necessary, we can send people over at any time. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Qin Chu could no longer calm down. When he was in America for 4 years, he didn't even hesitate to part with Huamin to investigate Huasiqian's 6 years of study in Germany. Later, he found out that Huasiqian had a close relationship with Ian's family. When he was investigating Ian, Qin Chu found that he was a psychopath. He couldn't even be considered a human anymore. The number of people who died in Ian's hands was immeasurable. It wouldn't be surprising if Ian was an anti-human being who posed a threat to mankind and society. After receiving this news, Qin Chu didn't dare to let his guard down. He immediately sent more people to protect his family. On the other hand, he planned to find Gao Ran after work and ask Gao Ran to stop investigating blindly. Rick and Cece wanted to leave as soon as possible. However, Cece's sister twisted her waist a few days ago when she was filming. In order to take care of her sister, Cece delayed the trip. Rick was busy and didn't rush Cece, so they left a few days later. Today, Cece and Rick were eating Japanese food together. Rick looked like he had a lot on his mind. What's wrong? Is there something on your mind? Cece asked. No, then why do you look so sad? I'm thinking about something, Rick said as he ate slowly. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to delay the trip. I'm really worried about my sister's injury. You know she's a celebrity. She faces a lot of unexpected situations every day. Cece, I'm not blaming you. Don't think too much. Rick reached out and held Cece's hand to comfort her. When my sister gets better, we'll go back to America, okay? Cece smiled brightly. Okay. Rick nodded slightly. His eyes were full of love. Just then, a group of people walked in and attracted the attention of everyone in the restaurant. This was because it was rare to see so many foreigners together. There were 4 of them in front and behind, and they were all dressed in black robes. It was as if they were the followers of a certain religion, so exaggerated. At first, he didn't care about these things, but when the leader came in front of Rick and greeted him, he was shocked. Rick then realized something. Hi. My old friend, I didn't expect to meet you here. The familiar voice made Rick's body tremble. He raised his head and discovered that the face was unfamiliar to him, but the voice was... For a moment, Rick couldn't react. What do you think of my new face? Cool, isn't it? The man smiled strangely. Throughout the entire process, he spoke extremely standard American English. Cece had studied abroad for a few years, so she naturally understood their conversation. So he looked at Rick curiously and asked, Darling, is this your friend? Honey? The man turned to look at Cece when he heard her address Rick. When Cece met his eyes, she felt an inexplicable fear in her heart. She didn't know why, but she just felt nervous. It was a terrible feeling. Although the face was that of a handsome foreigner, it was a very bad feeling. He was even more handsome than a mixed race like Rick, but Cece somehow felt repulsed by him. My old friend, when did you start to like this kind of woman? The man asked Rick with a smile, but his smile made people's hair stand on end. Chapter 2350. Why are you here? Rick knew that even though the face wasn't Ian's, it was definitely Ian's. Only Ian liked to change faces like this. The Rick family had always been a well-known mafia group in America. His father had been in contact with Ian's family since the beginning. Later, because of Ian's actions, it was simply inhumane. By the time Rick's eldest brother was in charge of the business, he had completely cut off all dealings with him. Therefore, they weren't really friends, but they weren't enemies either. They were just old acquaintances. Rick hadn't seen Ian for a long time. It had been about 7 or 8 years. I'm here to hang out. This place is really interesting. Ian smiled evilly. Cece saw Rick's expression and knew that they were just old friends, so she didn't interrupt. Then, the man looked at Cece again. Are you kidding or are you serious? Aren't you engaged to Luna? That's not true. Rick replied coldly. Oh, interesting. You guys are really interesting. What do you think, old friend? Are you interested in having dinner with me? Ian asked. No, I'm not interested at all. We're done eating. Enjoy your meal. We should go now. Rick stood up and pulled Cece away. He seemed to want to leave as soon as possible. When he pulled Cece away, he unintentionally used a lot of strength, causing Cece's wrist to hurt a little. But that's a shame. See you later. Ian didn't force them. He just smiled. Then, he calmly watched Rick and Cece leave. Rick didn't react until they were out of the restaurant. He turned around and said, Sorry, did I hurt you? It's okay, it doesn't hurt. What's wrong? Who was that? Who's Luna? What fiancé? Cece didn't understand what they were talking about either. It's nothing. Ask. Cece, this is a very dangerous person. I should go talk to Chin Chu. Rick knew that Chin Chu had investigated Ian because he was related to Wuxia. Ian's appearance here shocked Rick. He immediately understood why there had been so many tragedies in the past few days. Headquarters of Shin Group Huiyanyan came to the CEO's office with her bag. Miss Huiyanyan, please wait here for a moment. President Shin is in a meeting. The female secretary was very polite to her because she knew Huiyanyan. All right, there's no hurry. I'll just wait here for a while. Would you like coffee or tea? No need, you can go ahead. I'll just sit here for a while. Well, call me if you need anything. The female secretary closed the door and left. It wasn't her first time in Shin Mingxi's office. Shen Mingxi didn't hide anything from her. He treated her very, very well. Hui Yanyan thought about her promise with Mo Shui and decided to give it a try. However, since yesterday, he couldn't contact Mo Shui. He couldn't call her, and she didn't reply to his WeChat messages. Seeing that the appointed time was about to arrive, and the medicine had always been with her, should she take it or not? Hui Yanyan took out her phone and sent Mo Shui another WeChat message. Are you there? I have something urgent to talk to you about. I've thought about what you said. I'll do it. After a while, she still didn't get a reply. Hui Yanyan waited anxiously. Without Mo Shui's help, there was nothing she could do. She was also afraid that she would be in trouble if her plan was exposed. She even wondered if Wuxia saw through her plan and made a move on Mo Shui. In a basement on the first floor of a house in Sea City. When Mo Shui woke up, she felt sore all over. What am I? She opened her eyes in a daze. Chapter 2351. There were still no leads on Xianxia's death, and Mr. Xiang was murdered in the hospital. At the same time, Mo Shui went missing as well. The case was getting more and more complicated. As a high-ranking official in the bureau, Gao Ran was under a lot of pressure. It wasn't until Qin Chu came to him and told him about Ian that Gao Ran finally realized what was going on. Chu, are you saying that Ian has something to do with all these cases? Gao Ran asked as he looked at Qin Chu in shock. They were at a coffee shop near the bureau. I can't think of anyone else. But it doesn't make sense. There's no motive. The Xiang family and Ian have nothing to do with each other. How is that possible? Don't forget, he might not have anything to do with the Xiang family, but he's related to Wuxia, Qin Chu said calmly. Are you saying that Wuxia got someone to help him deal with the Xiang family and Mo Shui? It's hard to say. After all, we're just guessing. We can't prove that my guess is right. However, there's no doubt that Ian came here and did something so cruel. Qin Chu was almost certain that Ian had something to do with all these cases. When he investigated Ian in the US, he found out that Ian was even more disgusting and perverted than this. That makes sense. No wonder the witnesses said that they saw Xianxia talking to a few foreigners before she died. Even if you know that Ian did it, you can't arrest him. Qin Chu said slowly as he took a sip of his coffee. I know what you mean. I know what kind of person Ian is. He's a terrorist that even the FBI can't do anything to. How could he be caught by a small police officer like me? I'm not that naive. I'm just worried that more people will die. Gao Ran said worriedly. If things like this kept happening in his jurisdiction, he wouldn't be able to answer to his superiors. Gao Ran felt a lot of pressure. That depends on how lucky Mo Shui is. Qin Chu felt that Mo Shui was most likely dead. I hope this will end after Mo Shui. Gao Ran's expression was serious. Qin Chu raised his head and asked, Did you discover anything while you were keeping an eye on Wuxia? Nothing. He's unexpectedly quiet. He goes to work and comes home after work. His schedule is even more regular than a student's. I've also monitored his phone calls. I can't find any loopholes. Sometimes, not having any flaws is the most suspicious part. Qin Chu calmly analyzed. That's right. Huamin said the same thing. So, when we were monitoring Wuxia's phone, we found out that Huamin had called him? Gao Ran said casually. Oh, my wife called him? Qin Chu was a little taken aback by the news. Yeah, Huamin suspected that Wuxia was behind all this and warned him not to do anything rash. I'm guessing that Wuxia also thinks that this is too weird. What did Wuxia say? Qin Chu continued to ask. Gao Ran smiled with a pale face. That fox is very smart. He probably knew that we were monitoring him. Of course, he wouldn't admit it. But it's strange, when he spoke to Huamian, his tone was very creepy. You guys shouldn't act rashly. Investigate in secret and see if there's a chance that you can find Mo Shui's hiding place. She's missing, not dead. So, it's very likely that she's still alive. Or, they left her alive on purpose, Qin Chu boldly guessed. Chapter 2352. That's what I was thinking. I've been sending people to look for them. We've already searched all the abandoned factories in the suburbs. Gao Ran sighed. Ian's way of doing things is very strange, and he's always been very bold. It's very likely that he doesn't care about the police at all. You don't have to look for him in the suburbs, you can also pay attention to the downtown area. Maybe they're in the downtown area. Qin Chu gave a pertinent suggestion. Okay Chu, do you have any plans? Didn't you just say that Ian seems to be looking for Huamin? Qin Chu didn't say much about Huamin and only briefly mentioned it to Gao Ran. Yes. Then will your family be in danger? I'm not sure yet, it depends on how much Ian knows. Or rather, how much Huasiqian is going to tell Ian. Qin Chu wasn't sure if Ian knew about Huamin's identity, so he was very worried. That's troublesome. The more you don't know, the more scared you are. Anyways, you have to protect Mian and the kid's dad. Oh, right, if you can't, you can stop her from working for a while. I have a feeling that Southside isn't safe since those people were able to sneak into Southside, kill Mr. Xiang, and kidnap Mo Shui. I understand, I'll talk to him later. Just then, Qin Chu's phone rang. Hello? Qin, I have something urgent to tell you. Where are you? Rick's voice was very anxious. I'm at Gao Ran's place. I just saw Ian. Rick's tone was very serious. What? Where did you see him? Qin Chu's body shook violently. At the Japanese restaurant on Huaxi Road. Let's meet and talk about it later. This is really troublesome. Okay, I'll come to you right now. Then, Qin Chu stood up. Rick saw Ian. I'm going to talk to him in person. Where did you see him? Rick knows Ian? Gao Ran stood up as well. Rick's family used to have dealings with the Ian family. They're not enemies now, but they're not friends either. In short, their relationship is very complicated. It's not something that can be explained in a few words. Okay, then you go first. Let me know if there's any news. It'll make things easier if we know where they are. We'll also be able to find out where they took Mo Shui. Qin Chu stood up and was about to leave when Gao Ran's phone rang again. Chu, wait a second. Gao Ran yelled from behind. Qin Chu turned around. Gao Ran took out his phone and showed a video to Qin Chu. After Qin Chu glanced at it, his expression changed slightly. In the video, Mo Shui was naked. She was tied to the cross, naked. Both of his wrists were nailed tightly, and blood slowly flowed down. His feet were also nailed to the ground by iron nails. Her face was no longer recognizable, but the outline of her face was still recognizable. It was Mo Shui. These people are so cruel. How could they use such a method on a woman? Even if Mo Shui is still alive, she'd be better off dead. I can't stand it anymore. Damn it, I really want to catch this Ian and shoot him 100 times. Although Gao Ran didn't like Mo Shui's way of doing things, seeing her being nailed to the cross like a doll made his heart heavy. Where did you get this video? Qin Chu asked coldly. Chapter 2353. My subordinate just forwarded it to me. He said that the city bureau received this video 3 minutes ago. This is a blatant provocation. What are they trying to do? Gao Ran was furious. After being a police officer for so many years, he had seen a lot of murderers, but he had never seen anyone as cruel as this. No wonder even Qin Chu had to be cautious when he talked about Ian and changed his expression when he talked about him. It seems like Mo Shui is doomed. Ian is too arrogant to send you this video. He knows that you can't do anything to him. That fucking foreigner. If he pisses me off, I don't care if he's Ian, or Ian, I'll shoot him first and think about the rest later. Even if he's a foreigner, he can't ride on my neck and shit on me. Gao Ran was usually calm, but when he was angered, he was like a violent lion. He even wanted to shoot the foreigner, but things weren't that simple. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I think it's best if you don't go looking for him. Qin Chu lowered his head and pondered. But Gao Ran froze. He didn't seem to understand what Qin Chu meant. Mo Shui is dead for sure. Even if she's not dead yet, she's going to die for sure. Qin Chu was sure that Ian wouldn't let Mo Shui go after what she had been through. There was no doubt that she was going to die. Fuck. I'm such a fucking piece of trash. I can't even save 2 hostages. Suddenly, Gao Ran's sense of duty as a police officer exploded. He felt manic and inferior. He even felt like he was nothing. For the first time in his life, he felt sad because he couldn't do anything. You don't have to be too sad. Ian's arrival was unexpected. It's a good thing that the people here are unrelated to us. If someone close to us was targeted by him, it would be troublesome. That's true. I'll go back to the city bureau first. They're probably going to explode this time. Gao Ran left Qin Chu in a bad mood. Qin Chu went to see Rick, and Gao Ran returned to the municipal bureau. Mo Shui was nailed to the cross, but she couldn't feel the pain anymore. Because he was already numb, she was already exhausted from being tortured by this group of demons. She even felt that it would be a relief if someone could give her a stab and let her die. Sir, this woman won't be able to hold on much longer. Should we kill her now? Ian's subordinate asked. Ian was sitting on a chair not far away, leisurely drinking red liquid. It was hard to tell if it was blood or red wine. The entire basement was filled with the smell of blood. No, keep her alive for now. I kidnapped her because I want to give her a big present. Ian smiled slightly. 10 minutes later, Huasiqian arrived. Half an hour ago, Huasiqian received a notice that Ian wanted to meet him. Because his phone was being monitored, Ian was very powerful. He directly sent someone to the Hua family's old mansion and gave him a secret signal. At first, Huasiqian was shocked when he heard that Ian was here. It was too sudden. He didn't receive any news about Ian's arrival, so he didn't even know when he entered the country. Later, he calmed down and thought about what had happened in the past few days. Xianxia's death, Mr. Xiang's death, and Mo Shui's disappearance. Then he understood what was going on. Other than Ian, no one else would do something so disgusting. Sir, Mr. Hua is here. His subordinate knocked on the door and reported. Chapter 2354. Let him in. Ian swirled the wine glass in his hand. He had a unique smile on his face, one that would make strangers' hair stand on end. Huasiqian left the house in a hurry, so he didn't have time to change out of his business attire. He was wearing a coffee-colored business shirt, black trousers, and a long black coat made of cashmere. He was dressed very casually. He didn't bring any subordinates with him because he thought it would be inconvenient to meet Ian, so he came alone. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? Huasiqian asked Ian respectfully as soon as he walked in. I didn't want to trouble you. I wandered around for 2 days. Although your city is small, it's quite interesting, Ian replied with a smile. Master Ian, do you have a mission for me? Huasiqian asked nervously. There's no rush. Come, take a seat. Ian smiled at him. Huasiqian felt uneasy, but he still followed Ian's instructions and sat across from him. Ian picked up another wine glass with a sticky red liquid and handed it over. Here, try it. Huasiqian looked down and knew what it was. It was human blood. Ian had a habit of drinking human blood for many years, so it wasn't the first time he saw it. What's wrong? You don't like it? Ian asked when Huasiqian didn't move for a long time. Huasiqian didn't say anything, and he slowly picked up the wine glass. Then, he gritted his teeth and drank the entire glass of liquid in one gulp. The taste of blood immediately spread from his mouth, and the feeling made him want to vomit. How is it? How does it taste? Ian stared into Huasiqian's eyes and asked. Not bad. Huasiqian barely held on. He had to put on a convincing act in front of Ian. If he gave himself away, all his previous efforts would be wasted. Moreover, if he made Ian unhappy, the consequences would be unimaginable. This was because Ian was a temperamental guy. He was even more emotional than a child. He didn't even care about Nalo, who was his blood brother. Therefore, no matter how unwilling Huasiqian was, he would not go against Ian's wishes. People used to tell him that he was like a dog in front of Ian. However, who would be willing to be a dog in front of a demon like Ian? Who dares not to be a dog? Good, I like your personality. Ian seemed to be in a good mood as he patted Huasiqian's shoulder. Do you know whose blood this is? Ian asked as he inched closer to Hua Xiqian's face. Hua Xiqian didn't say anything, but he seemed to have an answer in his heart. Ian put one hand on his shoulder and pointed at a dark corner not far away. Hua, look over there. The moment Hua Xiqian looked up, someone turned on the lights in the corner. Emoshue was standing there with her hands tied behind her back, and there was a wooden cross behind her. His wrists and feet were covered with ghastly wounds. The blood had merged with the rust on the nails, and it gave off a disgusting smell. Hua Xiqian seemed to have expected this, so his expression was calm. Wake her up, Ian ordered. One of his subordinates immediately walked over and splashed a bucket of cold water on her. Emoshue woke up from the pain. She slowly opened her eyes, and a familiar face appeared in her sight. Chapter 2355. So it really is you? Emoshue-er's voice was weak. She smiled in despair. She knew that Hua Xiqian would deal with her sooner or later, but she didn't expect him to be so cruel. Hua Xiqian didn't say a word. He looked at Emoshue with an unfathomable gaze. I heard that this woman worked with the Xiang family to set you up. Have you been a pushover lately? Why haven't you done anything yet? Ian asked. I've been busy with work and haven't had the time to deal with them. Hua Xiqian laughed. I knew it, so I did it for you. What do you think? Are you happy? Ian asked. Although Hua Xiqian said he was happy, he didn't look happy at all. There are still a dozen people from the Xiang family alive. I've already ordered my men to take care of them. After tonight, none of them will be left alive. Hua Xiqian was shocked and immediately replied, No, Master Ian, there's really no need. Mr. Xiang and his daughter are already dead. Let's just forget about it. No. You have to be decisive. Don't you have a saying in China, if you don't remove the roots when you cut the grass, it will grow again when the spring breeze comes? I don't want you to leave behind a disaster for yourself. Ian's methods were cruel. Whether it was the elderly in their 70s or 80s or the young children, no one could make him soft-hearted. He didn't even know how to spell the word mercy. Although Hua Xiqian was ruthless, he wouldn't go so far as to kill an entire family. Therefore, when he heard that Ian was going to kill the entire Xiang family, he felt very uncomfortable. However, he knew that he couldn't convince Ian otherwise. Hua Xiqian, you'll die a horrible death. You won't have a good ending if you do this. Emoshue thought that they were in cahoots and that Ian was one of Hua Xiqian's men. Therefore, she kept cursing Hua Xiqian. This woman is so noisy. You too, go and pull out her tongue. Ian laughed as he gave this cruel order while drinking the red liquid in his hand. Emoshue-er's expression changed drastically when she heard this. Ian's subordinate stood up and walked towards Emoshue. They would definitely obey their boss's orders. Hua Xiqian could no longer sit still. He stood up and said, Master Ian, I have some grievances with this woman. I have something to say to her. Sure. I kidnapped her and gave her to you anyway. You can do whatever you want with her. Ian didn't care. To him, Emoshue was just like an ant. He didn't care if she died or not. What was important was that he was happy. Hua Xiqian rushed over and grabbed Emoshue's hair. I never thought that you would end up like this, Hua Xiqian said as he looked at her bloody face. I was too merciful. I should have killed you a long time ago. It's fine now, you can kill me. Either way, one of us has to die. Otherwise, we'll never be able to settle our grievances. Death is the only release. Emoshue smiled bleakly. Before Hua Xiqian could say anything, Ian's subordinate said with a cold expression, Master Ian said that he won't let her die easily. He has a lot of tricks planned for her. Hua Xiqian remained expressionless after he heard this. He slowly let go of Emoshue's hair and slid his hand down to her blood-covered face. There was no trace of her delicate features anymore. Who would have thought that she was the most famous female celebrity in the country? Swear. It had been a long time since he called her name so gently. Chapter 2356. Hua Xiqian's words touched Emoshue's heart. The two of them had been together for many years. From love to hate, they fought and tore each other apart. They had been through so much together. Huasiqian watched Emo Shui grow from an unknown girl to an award-winning actress with tens of millions of fans. Emo Shui had witnessed Huasiqian's transformation from an adopted son of the Hua family, who was looked down upon by everyone, to the man who now controlled the entire Hua family. In fact, the reason why they got together from the beginning was simple: they wanted to use each other. One wanted to become famous, while the other wanted to fool others by flirting with female celebrities. Emo Shui was very scheming. Over the years, she had helped Huasiqian a lot. However, because of her obsession, she went down the wrong path. Otherwise, Huasiqian would never have thought of touching her. I never thought that we would get to where we are today, huh? Emo Shui smiled with a pale face. I didn't think either. Huasiqian leaned his head against Emo Shui's. He hadn't been this close to her in a long time. To be honest, although she had always wanted to get rid of him and did a lot of infuriating things, Huasiqian didn't want to see her tortured to this state. Xiqian, did you know? I planned to work with Hui Yanyan against you. I was going to poison you and slowly kill you. Emo Shui said. I know you hate me. Huasiqian lowered his head. He didn't dare to look into Emo Shui's eyes. That's right, I hate you. I hate you for not loving me all these years. Emo Shui's voice trembled. She even sounded like she was about to cry. Shui, stop talking, Song Yisher, Wang Shasha, Jiang Linyue, you killed all those women, didn't you? Yes. For the first time, Huasiqian publicly admitted that he killed people. You did all this just to be with Huamin, didn't you? Yes. Huasiqian nodded. Both Emo Shui and Huasiqian spoke very softly. Ian couldn't hear what they were talking about from the distance behind them. However, Ian didn't seem to be interested in this because he had investigated the relationship between the two. He knew that Emo Shui was Huasiqian's enemy, so he wasn't afraid that the two of them were plotting something. Moreover, Emo Shui was now in his hands. There was no way she could escape. What about me? Emo Shui asked. You're going to kill me soon, right? Shui, I didn't do it. I didn't ask him to do it. Do you believe me? Huasiqian was actually very upset. He didn't want to see Emo Shui die, but there was nothing he could do to save her. I believe you because you've never lied to me. You just don't care about lying to me. But I actually regret it. If I had asked you to go overseas, none of this would have happened, Huasiqian said regretfully. Back then, Emo Shui was planning to go overseas to pursue her career. However, Qin Chu and Su Yu were fighting, so GK started a film and television company. Huamin asked Huasiqian for help, and Huasiqian immediately asked Emo Shui to sign with GK. This incident caused quite a stir back then. Huasiqian didn't think that from then on, he and Emo Shui would become more and more entangled. In the end, the child was gone, and so was their relationship. They started to fight. Maybe this is my destiny. I don't regret it. If I could choose again, I would still choose to be a celebrity and continue to be entangled with you. But I know that you'll never fall in love with me because you only have Huamin in your heart, right? Emo Shui asked in tears. Huasiqian remained silent. Now that things have come to this, can you please help me one more time? Emo Shui asked weakly. I know what you want. Huasiqian lowered his head, looking very conflicted. Chapter 2357. So, you'll help me, right? Emo Shui smiled bitterly. After a long silence, Huasiqian slowly nodded. Emo Shui finally let out a sigh of relief. She knew that no matter how cruel and heartless he was still willing to help her. Even if it was the last time. Huasiqian slowly wrapped his arm around Emo Shui's shoulder and leaned his warm face against hers. Emo Shui smelled the familiar scent that she hadn't felt in a long time. Tears instantly fell from her eyes. She thought back to her life. She was too obsessed with Huasiqian, a man that she shouldn't have fallen in love with. That was why she went down the wrong path. Now, it was time for her to wake up. Xiqian, if there's a next life, let's not meet again. After today we're even. Emo Shui? Er's voice was hoarse. Hua Xiqian nodded. Then he abruptly pierced the dagger in his hand through Emo Shui Er's heart. The sudden pain only lasted for a second. Then, Emo Shui Er felt as if all the energy in her body had been sucked out. She slowly rested her chin on Hua Xiqian's shoulder. Then, she used the last of her strength to kiss Hua Xiqian's face. Then, she slowly closed her eyes. She knew that from now on, she was completely free. She would never feel pain or fear again. Whether it was love or hate, they were all gone. In her last moments, she just wanted to kiss the man that she had loved for half her life. She wanted to thank him for granting her a quick death and freeing her. Hua Xiqian really wanted to cry. However, he knew that he couldn't because Ian was still looking at him from behind. He couldn't act like a coward like a normal person. That would only expose his shortcomings. Sir, he killed her? Ian's subordinate reported to Ian. Ian slowly put down his wineglass. He stood up and smiled. Well, how could you kill her? Now I'm done for. Hua Xiqian stood up and shoved Emo Shui's body onto the ground. Then he tidied up his messy collar and turned around with a faint smile. This woman is too hateful. She has framed me so many times. When I saw her just now, my emotions surged and I couldn't control myself. For someone like her, even if she died 100 times, it wouldn't be a pity. I hope Sir won't blame me. Of course not. Why would I blame you? Now that she's dead, I can't play with her anymore. Are you interested in having dinner with me? Ian asked. I'm willing. Although he was slightly sad, he still didn't want Ian's. He didn't want Ian's his face still. He didn't want Ian's he didn't look at all. He didn't. Because of Ian's current identity, it was impossible for him to swagger to a restaurant in the city. Finally, Hua Xiqian brought Ian to a remote mansion in the suburbs. On the TV, the female host said with a serious expression, the municipal bureau just released information on the suspects of the Xiang family tragedy. They are a group of foreign men. Their photos are below. If you have any leads, please call us. The municipal bureau is offering a hefty reward. Below the TV were a few portraits of Ian and his men. Because the surveillance cameras were tampered with, the municipal bureau hired a few witnesses. Based on their descriptions, the artists from the Public Security Bureau drew up portraits of them. Then they put them on the wanted list. The police in your country are so useless. They're so inefficient. Ian sighed arrogantly. Chapter 2358. Sir, even the FBI can't do anything to you, let alone these idiots. Hua Xiqian said respectfully. Then, Hua Xiqian's personal chef brought the steaks to the table. Ian's steak was medium rare, and there was still blood on it. Is it overcooked? Ian said as he looked at the steak. His subordinate immediately took out his gun and shot at the chef. The old chef fell to the ground with a loud thud. Hua Xiqian didn't even blink. He lowered his head and ate his steak. His steak was medium rare as well, and it still tasted like blood. The taste of the beef is so damn good. I'll take you to eat something fresher next time. Ian laughed. Hua Xiqian felt like vomiting. My brother misses you a lot. How long has it been since you went back to see him? Ian asked casually as he cut his steak. I've been busy with the company, so I haven't gone back in a long time. Mr. Nalo, how is he? Just fine. My brother still hasn't gotten rid of his homosexuality. Oh, I see that you're still single. If you don't like women, why don't you get together with my brother? After all, he loves you so much. You must be joking, Sir Ian. Hua Xiqian smiled without any emotion on his face. You don't have any feelings for the woman who just died, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be eating steak with me so happily after killing her with your own hands, right? Ian asked as if he was testing Hua Xiqian. Yes, I don't have any feelings for her at all. It seems like the rumors I heard are true? Ian put down his knife and fork and looked at Hua Xiqian with interest. Sir, what rumors are you talking about? Hua Xiqian stopped what he was doing and looked up at Ian. As far as I know, you've always liked a girl. Upon hearing this, Hua Xiqian's heart skipped a beat. I also heard that the girl is one of your little sisters. Hua Xiqian began to feel uneasy. What he feared the most was that Ian would discover Hua Min's identity. As for the girl, Ian paused and stared at Hua Xiqian. Instead, she looked into Hua Xiqian's eyes and asked, Hua, are you hiding something from me? No, sir, why do you ask? Hua Xiqian calmly looked into Ian's eyes. I feel like there's something important that you haven't told me. Sir, you're overthinking it. I wouldn't dare to do that. Hua Xiqian began to feel Hua Xiqian's words. Forget it. Let's not talk about this first. Let's talk about the girl you like. Is she pretty? Ian asked with a smile. Hua Xiqian didn't know what to say. He didn't want to reveal anything about Hua Min to Ian. He didn't want to be tainted by the devil. Too embarrassed to say it? Then I'll ask you directly. Is she the girl in this photo? Ian suddenly had a photo in his hand. It was a photo of Hua Min's daily life. It was taken on campus when he was still in university. She had a high ponytail and was holding a book in her hand. She had a sweet smile on her face. Under the sunlight, she looked especially lively. Sir, how did you? Hua Xiqian was shocked. Wasn't this the photo he kept? How did Ian have it? Chapter 2359. It's really her? She looks pretty good. Although I don't have the same aesthetic standards as you Asians, this girl's pretty cute when she smiles, right? But looking at this picture, it reminds me of someone, Ian said slowly as he held Hua Min's picture in his hand. Hua Xiqian asked anxiously. That little vixen Lu Yan? Ian smirked. Hua Xiqian felt like his head was about to explode when he heard this. Did Ian know something? Why are you so nervous? Look at your expression. Ian looked at Hua Xiqian and laughed. Why do you think she looks like Lu Yan? It's just a feeling. It's an indescribable feeling. Ian looked at the picture carefully. Then Mr. Ian, you must be mistaken. This is my little sister. She grew up here and is the daughter of my foster father, Hua Jinghai. Although she's not related to me by blood, we've always been close. So, she can't be the person you're looking for. Why are you so nervous? I didn't say she's the person I'm looking for. I just said she looks like Lu Yan. I didn't say she's Professor Lu's daughter. But since you're so nervous about her, it must be true love. Hua Xiqian bit down on his lips and didn't say anything. He didn't want to say yes, but he also didn't want to say no. Talking to Ian was indeed tiring. I didn't think you'd really fall in love with a girl. Back then, I made a bet with Nalo. I thought we were the same kind of people who loved themselves the most. Nalo used to think so as well. If he knew you had a girl you liked, he would be very disappointed. After all, he wouldn't have a chance. Mr. Ian, please don't joke around. Hua Xiqian replied awkwardly. Well, I came here to help you get rid of your enemies. My main purpose is to help you. Is there anything you need? I really don't need anything. I'm already very happy that you helped me get revenge, Hua Xiqian quickly replied. But you haven't gotten the girl you like yet? There's no need for that. She's already married and has a child, Hua Xiqian said calmly. That's easy. I can help you kill her husband and child. Ian said casually. Hua Xiqian was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. Hua Xiqian panicked. You can't do that, master. I don't want that. I don't want her to hate me for the rest of her life. She won't hate you. After I help you kill her family, you can imprison her and feed her our special drug, KB90. I guarantee that after she takes it for a period of time, she will listen to you obediently and be at your mercy. Isn't it easy to get a woman? I'm also interested in that little vixen Lu Yan. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to catch her. Otherwise, I would have done the same to her. I don't want that. I want her to follow me willingly. Hua Xiqian lowered his head and said slowly, You Asians are so pretentious. As long as you have her, you don't care if she's willing or not. I care about the result, not the process. There's really no need for that. I want to take care of this myself. Hua Xiqian said firmly. This was the first time he disobeyed Ian. Mr. Hua, don't be so ungrateful. Our master is helping you out of kindness. Ian's subordinate said coldly as he looked at Hua Xiqian. Chapter 2360. Sigh, forget it. If he doesn't appreciate my kindness, then I won't say anything more. It's getting dark, so let's go out and continue hunting. If I don't do something on a night like this, my heart will feel empty. Then, Ian finished the last piece of half-cooked steak and slowly stood up. Goodbye, sir. I'll stay for a few more days. This place is very interesting. Then, Ian turned around and left the mansion. Wuxia, on the other hand, began to feel uneasy. He knew that Ian had gone out to harm innocent girls again. He didn't care about those things. What he cared about was Huamin's safety. How much did Ian know about Huamin? And that photo. At this thought, his face became extremely gloomy. Inside the Hua family mansion, all 5 of Wuxia's trusted subordinates were present. Boss, you called us back in such a hurry. Do you have something to tell us? One of them asked. Wuxia didn't say anything. He played with a Swiss Army knife in his hand. It was extremely sharp. Ian's here. Master Ian, is that the terrorist leader? All 5 of his subordinates were shocked. Yes, Ian's here this time. Must have a purpose. It's not as simple as sightseeing, and it's definitely not as simple as killing the Xiang family and Demo Shui, or to avenge me. So, I want to ask you guys, who's the closest to Ian? After speaking, Wuxia looked back at his subordinates and glared at them coldly. His subordinates felt their hair stand on end under his stare. Boss, what are you talking about? Even you have a hard time meeting Master Ian, let alone us. I don't even know if Master Ian is a man or a woman, fat or thin, round or flat. Aching, who had been with Wuxia for the longest, replied. But Ian knows about Mion. My feelings for Mion are different from Su Yu's. The whole world knows that Su Yu likes Mion, but only me and Mion know about my feelings for her, and of course, you guys, boss, are you suspecting that we betrayed you? A few of his subordinates panicked. Wuxia glanced at them coldly. You guys have been with me for the longest time, so you know how I do things. Don't blame me for not holding back. Whoever did it, come out now and admit it like a man. I won't make things difficult for his family. Otherwise, don't blame me for not showing mercy. After Wuxia finished speaking, no one said anything. You don't want to admit it? Then don't blame me for disregarding our brotherhood. Boss, you're really observant. Maybe Master Ian is trying to drive a wedge between us. Our brothers have risked their lives to work for you. Which one of them hasn't killed anyone? We would never do something like that. Please don't wrongly accuse our brothers. Aching's expression was very strong, as if he really wanted to show his determination. The money I usually give you isn't a small amount, right? Wuxia suddenly asked. None of them said a word. You guys used to be street thugs, and now you all have luxury cars, mansions, and even 2 or 3 wives. I've treated you guys well. But you know that Mion is taboo in Ian's eyes. Mion is my weakness, so why did you guys tell on her? Did you think that Ian would make an exception and promote you? Do you know what kind of person Ian is? Do you know how terrifying his methods are? Wuxia roared. All 5 of his subordinates lowered their heads and remained silent. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me or not? Wuxia was exasperated. Chapter 2361. Seeing that no one said anything, Wuxia slowly walked up to the last person. It was a young man in his 20s with red lips and white teeth. He was quite handsome. How do I treat you? You're my last brother. Although we've only been together for a short time, I'm not biased towards you at all. Boss, I know you treat me like a second parent. I won't do anything to betray you. The young man named Ong was so scared that he quickly explained. Really? But I heard that you lost more than 8 million yuan at the Horsehead Gang's underground money house. I don't remember you having that much money. After Wuxia finished speaking, the others all turned their heads and looked at Awang strangely. I did lose money, but I didn't betray boss, really? I don't think you're still alive after owing 8 million yuan to the Horsehead Gang. So, did you sell the information to the Horsehead Gang, or did you use Ian's money to pay off your debt? Boss, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It really wasn't me. Wang still refused to admit it. If I remember correctly, your son is in the first grade of elementary school, right? Your dumb wife from the countryside and your mother have moved to the residential area on Guizhong South Road, right? I bought that house for you. Ong knelt on the ground with a thud. Boss, I'm sorry. I didn't want to. I really can't afford to pay off the money. I didn't know those people were Ian's people. They helped me pay off my debt and gave me a lot of money. I was greedy for money. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal if I told them about your relationship with Miss Hua. At least it wouldn't hurt you. I was confused. Wang finally couldn't resist Hua Xiqian's interrogation and confessed everything. You dog. Boss treats you so well, but you... Aching couldn't help but kick him. Boss, I was confused. Don't hurt my family, okay? My mother and my wife are from the countryside. They don't know anything. My son is innocent. Now you're scared? I gave you a chance just now. Why didn't you say anything? Hua Xiqian asked coldly. I'm afraid of death, afraid that boss will kill me, coward. Hua Xiqian cursed. At first, he didn't suspect his men until Ian took out the photo. That photo was from his study and no one else could touch it except for his trusted aide. Therefore, he guessed that there must be a mole. After some investigation, they found out that Wang had gambling debts. Boss, please give me a chance. I'll make it up to you. I'll go kill Ian, okay? Kill Ian? Hua Xiqian felt that this was the funniest joke he had ever heard. As long as you don't kill me, I'll do anything you want me to do. Wang knelt on the ground and begged while hugging Hua Xiqian's thigh. It's too late to regret now. Hua Xiqian squatted down and held Wang's neck with one hand. The military knife in his other hand pierced through Wang's neck. His main artery burst and blood flowed out. The other 4 men were scared out of their wits. However, they knew that their boss did this in front of them as an example to others. Drag him out. He's dirtying my floor. Hua Xiqian pulled out the military knife and wiped his hand with a white handkerchief. Yes, boss, should we send someone to watch Master Ian? Aching asked anxiously. Chapter 2362. No, it'll be even more troublesome if Ian finds out. He's already suspicious of me, or else he wouldn't have bribed Ong to look into my private affairs. That's all for now. You guys can leave now, I'll think about it. Hua Xiqian sent his remaining subordinates away. It had been a long time since he last killed someone, but this time he killed 2 people in a row. First, it was Mo Shui, and now it was his subordinates. Hua Xiqian suddenly realized that he was in a bad mood after killing people. He turned around and walked into his study. He carefully put the photo of Huamin that Ian left on the dining table back into the drawer and locked it. Then, he took out his phone and sent a message to Huamin. Mian, are you there? ? After a while, Huamian replied with a question mark. If you're not busy at Southside, can you take a long vacation? There's been too much going on lately, and it's not peaceful here. I'm worried that you'll be in danger. You don't have to worry about me, I still have my husband. You don't understand? I'm just doing this for your own good. Hua Xiqian was anxious and wanted to persuade Huamin not to go to work at Southside. It was best for her to go abroad and lie low for a while, but he couldn't tell her that Ian was here. Otherwise, Huamin would feel even more uneasy if she found out. Me? Don't you know how I feel about you? Do you think that I would hurt you? First of all, I'm not Huamin. Second of all, you don't have to worry about my wife, you should worry about yourself. After hearing this reply, Hua Xiqian's mood exploded. It turned out that the other party was Qin Chu. He had Huamin's phone. It really made Hua Xiqian. Seeing that it was Qin Chu, Hua Xiqian stopped texting. Huamin came out of the bathroom and looked at Qin Chu as he dried his hair with a towel. Wow, someone's holding my phone. Is he checking on me? Huamin chuckled. Yeah, I'm checking to see if you've been good lately. Have you been flirting with other girls? What if I have? Will you beat me up? Huamin laughed. If you do, I'll help you get rid of those girls. But I can't beat my wife. After all, I only have one. If I beat her up and run out, where am I going to find another one as smart as her? Qin Chu half-joked as he put his phones down on the bed. She didn't mention a word about Huasiqian's text message and deleted all the records. Qin Chu didn't mean to hide it from Huamian, he just didn't want Huasiqian to appear in their lives. Hua-s. T. B. T. Qin Chu picked up the towel and gently helped her dry her still wet hair. So you like seeing me jealous? Then I'll eat it every day, okay? Qin Chu said on purpose. No, I can't take it if I eat it every day, huh? Huamin looked down and played with his phone. Just then he saw Zhu Lingling send him a voice message. She pressed it slowly and then put it close to her ear to listen to Lingling's voice. Mian, did you see the news? What news? Huamin knew that something big had happened when Zhu Lingling asked this question. Emo Shui is dead. She died in a basement. It's very scary. Zhu Lingling said. What? Emo Shui is dead? Her body was found? Huamin was shocked and immediately got up from his bed. Chapter 2363. I found her, she was in a basement. My husband brought people to the crime scene and he said it was horrifying. Emo Shui was tortured before she died and the cause of her death was a stab to the heart. It was so tragic. I never thought that a superstar like her would have such a tragic end. Zhu Lingling lamented. Huamin furrowed her brows slightly. To be honest, she hated Emo Shui, but she never thought that she would one day die in such a way. It was truly a pity. It's really shocking, Huamin said slowly as she bit her lip. It's been really chaotic lately. My husband said that there's a psycho killer in our city. He told me not to go out after dark. You too, you have to take care of yourself, especially the twins. Don't let them go out. Let's wait until the killer is caught. It's so scary. So many people have died already. The girl from the Xiang family hasn't even died yet, and now Emo Shui is involved. It's really tragic. Oh right, I heard that Emo Shui's family and fans went to Huasiqian's company to cause trouble, Zhu Lingling said. They went to Huasiqian's company to cause trouble? Huamin was curious. Oh you idiot. Emo Shui didn't have a boyfriend. Wasn't Huasiqian the only boyfriend she publicly admitted to all these years? Now that she's dead, of course someone has to come out and vent their anger. But Emo Shui broke off her relationship with Huasiqian and has been hiding in the Xiang family with old Master Xiang. But old Master Xiang is dead and the Xiang family is almost all dead. Of course, they can't come out and be the scapegoat. So, Huasiqian is the best candidate. Huasiqian isn't someone to be trifled with. If we get too close to him, it won't do anyone any good. What the Mo clan is doing isn't a wise decision. Huamin analyzed calmly. Mian, you guessed wrong this time. Huasiqian really impressed me this time. I heard that not only did he not chase away the troublemakers, he even gave the Mo family a large sum of money as compensation and promised to hold a large memorial service for Emo Shui. The memorial service is tomorrow. Do you want to go? Me? Forget it, we're not even friends. It's better not to go. Huamin shook his head. Well, that's true. Then you should go to work properly. Don't run around after work because the person hasn't been caught yet. Is the murderer really a foreigner? Huamin asked Zhu Lingling when he saw the news on TV. He was sure that Gao Ran knew the truth. Yeah, my husband said it's a foreigner. Who knows? I don't care, I don't want to worry about it. Let the police investigate it themselves. Zhu Lingling then said goodnight to Huamin and hung up. Honey, you don't look so good. What did Zhu Lingling say to you? Is it about Emo Shui? Qin Chu asked softly as he hugged Huamin's shoulder. Yeah, it's all too sudden. Honey, you said that human life is actually very fragile, right? You might be fine yesterday, but the next day, you might become a corpse. Huamin sighed as he leaned on Qin Chu's shoulder. Of course, humans are the most fragile creatures in the world. They can face any accident at any time. So we have to cherish every minute and every second of our lives, because a lifetime is really not long. How dare you say that? Someone disappeared for 4 years. Oh no, it was 11 years. There were 7 years before that. Huamin began to find fault with Huamin. Chapter 2364. Qin Chu rubbed his forehead. He knew that his wife was angry. Then he brushed his lips across Huamin's ear. It was a gentle kiss. Someone, don't hold a grudge. I'm willing to spend the rest of my life making it up to you. Qin Chu comforted her. The rest of your life isn't enough. If I live until I'm 80, then I still have 50 years left. Isn't that enough? Mrs. Qin, what else do you want? Qin Chu reached out and pinched Huamin's face lovingly. 50 years isn't enough. 500 is more like it. Huamin stubbornly replied. 500 years. Okay, your husband will work hard to find the elixir of immortality. Then, we'll both live until we're 500 years old and fulfill your wish. With Mr. Qin comforting her, Huamin didn't feel as sad. Plus, Shui wasn't a friend to begin with. Death would only make people feel a little sad. Huamin took out her phone, opened Weibo, which she hadn't logged in for a long time, and posted a comment. People live for a lifetime, plants and trees for an autumn. There are only two things that people can't escape. One is karma, and the other is impermanence. Huamin didn't do it on purpose. She was just lamenting. She didn't think that it would provoke crazy fans to attack her. Many people replied to her post. Some of Shui's fans even cursed at her. Woman, what are you trying to say? Are you being sarcastic? What do you mean by karma? Are you saying that our Shui deserves this? Is this karma? To the one above, watch your tone. Our Dr. Hua isn't that kind of person. Do you understand Chinese or not? It's scary to be uneducated. Huamin was just lamenting about the impermanence of life. Do you have to bite him like crazy dogs? Huamin scrolled through the comments on Weibo. She was silent, and her heart didn't waver at all. She wasn't someone who could be easily influenced by others. The next morning, at breakfast, only Qin Chu and Huamin were there. Where's Ningning? Are you still in bed? Huamian asked. I'm afraid she's already gone out. She's been leaving early and returning late recently. I wonder what she's busy with? She's probably going back to America, so she can't bear to part with Tang Chuan. The two of them are in love, so it's normal that they can't bear to part with each other. Huamin smiled as he picked up the milk and drank it. Honey, Huamin tilted his head and looked at Qin Chu. Is the hospital busy recently? I'm fine. I'm not very busy, but I'm not free either. Why are you asking me this? Huamin was curious. I mean if you're not busy, let's go on a vacation? Vacation? Huamin was stunned. Today's a good day. Why don't you take the day off? Qin Chu asked tentatively. Today? I don't think the company is so free that you can go on vacation whenever you want. What's wrong? Why are you acting so weird today? Huamin felt that something was wrong. No. Didn't Little Bean and Pudding talk about going to Wuzhou to eat hairy crabs? So I was wondering if we should go on a vacation for a few days. But we can't leave right away. Let's wait for a while. The general hospital will send more doctors to South Side. By then, I think I won't be so busy anymore. We can go on a vacation for a few days. It was obvious that Huamin didn't want to leave right away. Okay, that's a good idea. Qin Chu lowered his head and drank his milk worriedly. He didn't dare to continue persuading Huamin. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.